We got to give it up. Everybody got to salute. I need to see the salutes in the chat. I need to see it in the comments. I needed to see it from everybody part of this stream right now. Our captain, Jalen Brunson, went off, dropped 44 points on the Milwaukee Bucks to get this Knicks team this victory, a victory that we needed after an embarrassing loss in OKC. You know I got to ask, because we are on a mission to try to reach 25,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, live streams, and all of the things that we drop on a daily basis, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. When you get blown off the floor, when you get destroyed on a Friday night against Oklahoma City, you don't want to see that happen again. What you want to see is a team come out locked in, focused, and ready to drop the hammer. Ready and prepared because they know the team ahead, the game plan ahead, and what they need to do. And it starts with the leader. It starts with the captain, who admitted to everybody after the last loss that he needed to do better. He needed to step up, and he needed to make sure he was the leader for this team. Talk about aggressive. Jalen Brunson dropped 23 points in the first quarter. He sat basically all of the second quarter. He didn't really have to play much. Ended the first half with 27. He goes down in basically to start the third quarter with a stinger injury to his shoulder. He goes out. He doesn't come back basically till the whole third quarter is over. Mind you, like I said to start off this stream, he dropped 44 points and he barely played in the third quarter. What happens if he played in the third? He probably would have had another 50-ball game. That's the efficiency and how good he was looking for the entire game. It's clear. Our stars tonight led the way. Jalen Brunson in that first quarter and Karl Anthony Towns in that second quarter. He was lighting them up, getting whatever they wanted to do. The Knicks were abusing the Milwaukee Bucks. Inside, getting whatever they wanted. Outside, getting whatever they wanted. Penetrating, creating, getting to the line. And finally, it was back. Did you guys see it? I know you guys didn't miss it because I saw it too. We saw Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and this entire Knicks team start passing the ball, moving themselves, getting others involved. And that is New York Knicks basketball. When they play like that, anything is possible. They are likely to win any game. They got the victory. They dominated. They were up 13 points at half. And then in that third quarter, they moved the ball. They continued to dominate inside, outside. They got help from Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, Payne with a huge game off the bench. All of that led to an avalanche of the Knicks dropping so many points each and every quarter. And now the Knicks have another dominant win over the Milwaukee Bucks during this season. We're going to break down exactly how New York was dominant, how they blew out the Milwaukee Bucks by 30-plus points, and why they did it in dominant fashion. We're going to talk about all of that today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you have notifications turned on as well, too. So that way, anytime we drop new content, you get notified. And now, let's get started. Jalen Brunson shows why he's the captain by taking charge of this team and dominating from start to finish and letting this Knicks team, helping this Knicks team get a win against a fully healthy Milwaukee Bucks team. Let me run that back to you again. Fully healthy, fourth in the East Milwaukee Bucks team who has been playing incredible basketball. But we showed today why the Knicks are here and the Milwaukee Bucks are here. There are levels to it. We said it the other night. If there are levels between OKC and the Knicks, right now, there are levels between the Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. Not only because of our talent, not only because of our chemistry, not only because of the way we can stretch the floor, it's the way we believe. We trust in each and every player on the floor. We trust in the pass. And we also understand whoever's going to touch the ball, they're going to have an impact. Talk about an impact. Jalen Brunson, who has been struggling from three, who has been struggling with his shot, just been struggling to find any type of offense over the last couple of games. And he's not made any excuses. He's taken it on the chin, and he stated he needs to play better. First quarter against Milwaukee. Talk about play better. He could not be stopped. He was attacking inside. He was shooting three-pointers. He was going around people. And here's the thing. I'm not sure what's wrong with Doc Rivers. I think he has to be checked because Doc Rivers, for some wild reason, was throwing single coverages at Jalen Brunson. And the funniest part is Mike Breen talking about Andre Jackson, I believe his name is, right? He's talking about this kid. He talks about this kid basically for as long as he's in the game, for maybe a couple of minutes, because JB uses him as food and then gets him into foul trouble. And then after that, they put AJ Green on him. What happens to AJ Green? He gets into foul trouble. Then what happens later on in the game? They put Pat Connaughton on him. What happens to him? He also gets into foul trouble. They could not stop Jalen Brunson. And for the life of me, I could not understand why they were throwing single coverages at Jalen Brunson. Doc, you didn't think it didn't work? He scored 23 points in the first quarter. You're telling me it didn't work? You maybe want to double him. Now you know why the entire league has to double and triple team Jalen Brunson. Because if you don't, he's liable to give you performances like that. Not only did he score, by the way, he was giving you passing. He was giving you rebounds. He's never going to get enough credit for it, but he was playing the passing lanes, playing very good defense, getting a lot of steals as well, too, getting plays in transition, pushing the ball up, and ensuring that the Knicks got another basket. And when Jalen Brunson was out of the game because he needed to rest, and credit to Tom Thibodeau, because tonight he made an adjustment that I never thought he was going to make. He matched Milwaukee, did he not? Because in that first quarter, Giannis played the entire first, did he not? Jalen Brunson played the entire first. I believe Josh Hart and Mikal played the entire first as well. I might have to check that, but I know a number of players did. All I'm trying to say is Tom Thibodeau kept Jalen Brunson on the bench almost for as long as Giannis was on the bench for the Bucks. And he didn't bring him in until they both were supposed to be in the game at the same time, basically matching star power for star power. Karl Anthony Towns was led to take charges that second quarter. He wasn't that aggressive in the first quarter. I obviously saw what Brunson was doing. Let the captain go off. No problem. But in the second quarter, it shows you why the non-Brunson minutes that we used to complain about all season long last year, it doesn't matter anymore. We have no complaints because now we have buckets coming from OG, buckets coming from Payne, buckets coming from Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, who we'll get into because he wasn't that aggressive tonight. He wasn't doing exactly what I wanted him to do. We're going to break down Mikal Bridges' game a little bit later when we talk about the minutes breakdown. But Karl Anthony Towns knew the mission, he knew the game plan, and he was excited. Bobby Portis has nothing on him. He can't handle him. So he took him all the way to the paint. Nobody could stop him. Brook Lopez is too old, too slow, and cannot bang with Karl Anthony Towns. He got dominated. And eventually, when Giannis was on him, it didn't matter because Giannis was committing those silly fouls as well, too. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, they allowed the Knicks to walk home with a W, get that victory, protect home court, and blow out Milwaukee in the process. Blow them out. Destroy Milwaukee. They're done. We did it twice this season, when they were kind of healthy and when they were fully healthy. I don't want to hear it. Milwaukee can't say nothing. If you're not at the top of the conference in the West or the East, you cannot talk to the Knicks because right now it's an exclusive affair and the Knicks are part of the conversation and the Bucks are not. You want to know why? Because when you drop the hammer like this and you dominate them 140 to 106, you can say that. You can talk like that, and you can say there are levels to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the quarter-to-quarter breakdown real quick, talk about exactly what happened during tonight's game. And from the quarter-to-quarter breakdown, you can see the Knicks scored 30-plus points in each and every quarter. The Knicks won in each and every quarter, and the Knicks dominated in each and every quarter. Maybe aside from that first quarter, they still dominated 33-36. And the reason that quarter was so close is because Jalen Brunson gave you 23. And I don't know exactly the points that Giannis gave you in that first, but he was scoring a lot at will inside the paint, doing whatever he wanted to do. Yes, he did travel a few times, not gonna lie, but some other times he didn't travel, still dunked all over the Knicks. We all saw that. But after that, Knicks locked in, they played more defense, and we saw it. 39 points dropped in the second quarter to 29. Karl Anthony Towns had a lot to do with that. And then that third quarter, 33-27. And the fourth, when Jalen Brunson is able to return and come back and basically end the game with 44 points, the Knicks close out that fourth quarter, 32-17. And they continue to do it the exact same way. Attacking Milwaukee, dominating Milwaukee, doing whatever they wanted to do inside, passing the ball, getting open three-point shots, hitting those open three-pointers, getting buckets in transition, and pushing the ball up. And the Knicks, when they push the ball up, when they try to score in transition, when they're hitting their three-point shots, when they're dominating on the rebounding boards, they are one of the hardest teams to beat. And the Milwaukee Bucks saw that Knicks team tonight. And that's why it was a major problem, and they had no chance, no shot against anything that we were going to run. Milwaukee's good, but they're not as good as Oklahoma City, and they're not as good as the Knicks. And the Knicks proved that tonight in blowout fashion when we were able to dominate and destroy them, pick them apart, go inside and get whatever we wanted at will. Cut inside, get whatever we wanted at will. Hit three-point shots whenever we wanted to. Thanks to our two all-stars in Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. The captain tonight, 44 points on 16 of 26 shooting. So efficient. 5 of 10 from 3. 6 assists. 1 turnover. My goodness. 6 assists to 1 turnover. He is not making sure anybody gets that ball besides his teammates. He is finding other players. He is making sure that Milwaukee has no answer for him. And even when they think they have an answer for him, he still goes inside the paint, crosses up his defender, and is able to destroy anybody in front of him. Now, we have to thank Doc Rivers for Jalen Brunson having such a good night. Because if Doc Rivers didn't go single coverage against Jalen in that first quarter, basically for the entire game, really, then I don't think JB scores 44. If he double teams him and triple teams him, maybe another player goes off for 40 or 44. But Jalen was able to exploit exactly what the Bucks were giving him. 44 points on 16 of 26. You didn't even make it hard for him. At least make it difficult. You didn't even turn the ball over. 5 of 10 from 3. And Jalen has been struggling from the field over the last couple of games. But you wouldn't know it if you watched today's game because he dominated. And it's easy to do that at times when you don't have that much defense on you. And I think that goes to tell you, if Jalen Brunson was getting single coverage for the entire season, he'd probably be putting up all these numbers. And really, if Jalen Brunson didn't drop 44 points tonight, then I guarantee we would be talking about Karl Anthony Towns right now. Towns tonight. I mean, this all-star duo came up the show. I don't know about Giannis and Dame, even though Giannis and Dame by the numbers are said to be the best duo in the league. I don't know. I'm looking at Jalen and Cat. I'm looking at a Knicks blowout victory against the Bucks, and I'm thinking I'm changing my vote to this duo being one of the most dominant in the league. Karl Anthony Towns tonight against Milwaukee. 30 points, 10 of 16 from the field. So extremely efficient as well, too. It is insane to get 30 points on 16 shots, 18 rebounds, 5 of them offensive, and 4 assists. I mean, he is passing the ball with the best of them. He is finding other players around the court, wherever they are. But the best pass that Karl-Anthony Towns has perfected is the pass inside. He found OG a number of times. He found Mikal Bridges a number of times. He found Josh Hart a number of times. I don't know how he does it. I just don't know how he moves, how he passes, how he sees the floor, how he holds the ball with one hand like this behind his head and then tosses it like it's a frisbee inside the paint to somebody open, and it's just an easy lay-in. But he does it so often. He's never going to get enough credit for it, ladies and gentlemen. But he really is a good passer. He really is such an elite playmaker. Oh, and by the way, Damian Lillard, for some crazy reason, is ahead of Jalen Brunson in the All-Star voting. We blew them out by 140 to 106. The next All-Star voting package voting results that I see, I better see Jalen far ahead of Damian Lillard. With the minutes tonight, though, as you can see, with Mikal Bridges, you got 37 minutes for Mikal, you got 31 minutes for OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns with 36, Jalen Brunson with 29. Probably would have played more if he didn't have to go out in that third quarter. Josh Hart with 35, Preston Achiuwa with 15 off the bench. Matt Ryan, 3 minutes in garbage time. Jacob Toppin, 5 minutes in garbage time. Ariel Huck, 45 minutes in garbage time. Cam Payne, 14 meaningful minutes off the bench. Miles McBride, 20 minutes off the bench. Landry Shamet, 6 minutes off the bench in garbage time. And Kolek, 3 minutes off the bench in garbage time with another DNP for Jericho Sims. Coach's decision. Now, before we break down those team stats that you see right there on the right-hand side of the screen, I want to go to Mikal Bridges. He took 5 shots tonight. 4 of those shots were threes. So 5 shots tonight, and 4 of those shots were 3. He gave you 6 points and 6 assists with 2 rebounds. So, silver lining with Mikal Bridges is he gave you assists. He was passing the ball, finding a lot of players. You got to give him credit there. I like that. He was playing good defense as well, too. I thought he was stopping a lot of players, or at least putting a player or a body in front of them, putting a hand in front of them, bothering them, rotating well. Help defense was very good. So on that end, I thought he did pretty well. But you can't take 5 shots. You can't take 5 shots. You got to be more aggressive. I know Jalen Brunson was going off, and I know Karl-Anthony Towns was going off. That's not an excuse to take 5 shots. What happened to the rest of your game? We have to call it out. I would have done it to anybody else. If that was Jalen or Karl-Anthony Towns, I would have done it to them too. So I have to do it to Mikal Bridges. And even if he missed the shots that he took, at least take them. He wasn't even taking them. He was passing every time he got the ball. It's like he was infected with Jericho Sims syndrome. Because Jericho Sims is the same way. Every time he gets the ball, he looks to pass it. That's what Mikal Bridges was doing tonight. I'm not used to seeing that out of Mikal Bridges. And honestly, I don't want to see that again. So that's something to know for Mikal Bridges. I want to mention OG Anunoby tonight. Now, maybe he didn't have the most efficient game, but he still gave you 12 shots up. 5 out of 12, 31 minutes, 1 of 5 from 3. 2 assists, 1 rebound, and 11 points. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest stat line, but he was still a threat. He was still taking a lot of shots, and that's the point. You need to be able to take shots. You need to be able to be a threat. Karl-Anthony Towns, you see what he did, 16 shots. We talked about him already. Talked about Jalen Brunson already. With Josh Hart tonight, another player who did a lot for us. And again, you can see it on the box score. But if you watch the game as well, he is your everyman. 35 minutes. Now, yes, I want him to put up a couple more shots as well, too. But Josh Hart, honestly, if he doesn't score, I'm not so mad because he gives you everything else. Gave you 11 points, 4 assists, and 11 rebounds. Another double-double. Josh Hart is exactly the player you need him to be when he's playing with the starting unit. He gives you a little bit of everything. So I like what I saw from Josh Hart. Cam Payne, though, in 14 minutes, he put up 10 shots, 6 of 10, 4 of 7 from 3, 18 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. That campaign was aggressive and exactly the campaign you want to see out there. He was taking shots. He was making sure he was being aggressive. He pulled so many defenders with him. He was also making sure he got others involved. And I think if he played some more minutes off the bench, he would have a greater impact. Hopefully, Tom Thibodeau, as we move forward throughout this season, and he gets used to the 9-man and the 10 players that he has, maybe he'll start to go 10 out. Let's break down the team stats here and show you exactly why the Knicks were so dominant. Milwaukee versus New York. The Knicks shot 58% from the field, 43% from three. Ladies and gentlemen, we shot 12.9% from three last game against OKC. To shoot 43% this game sounds like a miracle. But that was the difference. When we're making shots, that's how dangerous we can be. But also conversely, when we're not making shots or taking shots that are forced, so we're unable to make them, that's how bad we can look. It's a very stark difference, but it's something that we have to understand, because that three-point ball, when it's going in, the Knicks and their basketball looks beautiful. But when it's not, it doesn't look as good. But tonight, it looked great. Milwaukee, not as good. Again, the Knicks, 43.9% from three. Milwaukee, 29.4% from three. Turnovers, Knicks keep it low again for 12 turnovers. Very good. Milwaukee at 14 turnovers. The Knicks, again, dominant on the rebounding, especially the defensive boards. They dominated by 20 plus on the defensive boards, but 49 to 39 in terms of total rebounds for the Knicks. So they win that. They win the field goal shooting, and they win the three-point shooting as well, too. They also keep turnovers lower than Milwaukee. They win in all of the key categories. Breaking down the full team stats here and also the shot chart. As we can see, the team assist here, way better for New York this game around in comparison to last game. The Knicks against the Milwaukee Bucks, 29 team assists, the Bucks 22. That's the difference right there. You can look at every other stat. We either covered it already or it really has no difference. The amount of fouls, almost no difference. Amount of points in the paint, almost no difference. Fast break points, almost no difference. Blocks, turnovers, steals, almost no difference. Only thing besides the three-point shooting that was very, very different is the rebounding and the assist numbers. When you're passing the ball 29 times as a team, you're finding other players inside the paint as they're cutting with nobody near them. So you're getting easy baskets. You're getting easy buckets in transition. You're finding open players in the corner to shoot, and they have all the space in the world to get those shots. And as you see on the shot chart there, it clearly shows you the Knicks and their three-point shooting. The corner shot was there for them tonight. They were open so many times. The Knicks were finding so many players there, and they were able to convert and get those buckets, dominate, and destroy them. And if they didn't have that bucket, they were cutting baseline, driving inside, and finding an open player driving to the rim, or taking the basket themselves and getting an and one and going to the line, or getting the bucket to go and running to the other side to play defense. But it's clear, New York, when they're rebounding, when they're passing, when they're shooting the three ball, at least at 40% or better, shooting great from the field, and they're making sure other players are getting involved. It's not only a one-man show. It's not only isolation and devastation. That's when New York becomes a championship-level team. That's when New York becomes the team that everybody knows that they can be, that they're supposed to be. The team that they are looking like when they had that 9-game win streak. No unselfish type of players on this team. You play unselfishly. You move the ball. You get others involved. It's not hard. And then on defense, you lock in. You keep players in front of you. You communicate. And if you get beat by your man, you ask for help. The opposing player goes in the paint. You try to close out. You try to help. And that way, you do it smartly, so that way you can impose the opposing player's way inside the paint while also keeping another foot right near your defender. New York has to get better at doing that. I think that they will, but it's all up to New York to be able to make those adjustments and be able to knock down those shots, play defense the right way, and get on the boards the right way as well, too. They weren't able to do that against Oklahoma City. And a lot of these losses that we have, they're not able to do that. But tonight is a blueprint for New York in terms of how they can beat any team. Be aggressive, move the ball, move yourself, play defense, attack, prevent players from getting whatever they want inside the paint, keep players from being a inside the paint team to a half-court team, a jump shooting team, especially if they're weak at doing that, or for that game, they're weak at doing that. If you're able to do that, you're going to give yourself the best chance to win games and blow out teams. This Milwaukee Bucks game shows you that better than any other game I could reference now could tell the story. When we're actually playing defense and we're active on defense and we're trying to stop people, we look as good as most teams in the NBA right now. We look as good as some of the top teams in the league right now when we play like that. The problem is it is not consistent enough. So you want to know what the next thing the Knicks need to fix is? Consistency. Making sure what we see today is not something that we see in a month, but something that we see each and every game, because that is what we need to be considered a real, legitimate championship team. But what about you guys? What did you think about tonight's game? What did you like about tonight's game? What did you not like about tonight's game? Maybe there was something about tonight's game that I didn't talk about specifically. If that's the case, leave a comment below and let me know what that is. Because honestly, guys, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.